सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। प्रणम्य रामाभिधमात्मधीपदम् जगत्प्रसूतिस्थितिसंयमायनम् तदात्मकान् शङ्करपूर्वकान् गुरून् मयोपदेशार्थविभाग उच्यते। Read the passage number 7. Upadishya cha grahye brahmano lakshanam ya atma apahata papma yat sakshad aparokshad brahma yoshanaya pipase नेति नेति अस्थूलमननु सएष नेति नेति अदृष्टं द्रष्टृ विज्ञानमानन्दं सत्यं ज्ञानमनन्दं अदृश्येनात्मे निरुक्ते स वा एष महानय आत्मा अप्राणो ह्यमनाः सबाह्याभ्यन्तरो ह्यजः विज्ञानघन एव अनन्तरमबाह्यम् अन्यदेव तद्विदितात् अथो अविदितात् अधि आकाशो वै नाम इत्यादि श्रुतिभिः। So here now the teacher is instructed as to the method of imparting knowledge to the disciple and also the sequence in which the knowledge should be imparted. First, Atmaikya Pradipadaparaha Shrutihi Upadished. So it says, first of all, the teacher should instruct the disciple by unfolding the Shruti, the statements of the Upanishads, which reveal the Atmaikya, which reveal the oneness of the self. The Atma of the self is one, non-dual. So all those statements of the Upanishads which reveal this is the teacher should first unfold before the student the nature of self which is one, non-dual. Upadishya. So first know the nature of the self. The self is not many. Even though it appears that as many living beings are there, so many self are there, but in fact, self is one alone, Atma Ikya. How? So let the teacher unfold this before the student. How the manyness is in the level Upadhi, the costume, the name and form, and in spite of how there is the unity in diversity or oneness in many. Having made the student see the nature of the self, Upadeshyacha grahet brahmano lakshanam. Then Brahma, which is Jagat Karanam, the cause of the universe, the substratum of the universe, that is Brahman. Brahmana Lakshanam Grahet. Make the teacher, make the student grasp the Lakshanam, the characteristic of Brahman. How ya Atma apahadapapma. So, how do you know the fact, or how do you know that Atma is Brahman now? Then the teacher, first having told what the nature of Atma is, next step is that Atma is Brahman. The self is Brahman, Jagat Karanam, the cause of the universe or the substratum of the universe. The self is not just one, but the self of all. And for that, a number of statements I just quoted as a sample. Ya Atma apahadapapma ityadi prajapatya vakyana, the Tikakara explained. Jagradadi avastasu drashtutvena anugataha. How the teacher in the Chandogya Upanishad pointed out that the Atma, the self that is sinless, free from old age, death, etc., he is the drashta, the very witness in the three states of waking, dream and deep sleep. Ashariraha, and therefore the self is devoid of or free from all the limitations of the samsara, this limited existence. How is ashariraha, unembodied? How priya priyabhyam asamsprushta, untouched by, unaffected by the pairs of opposites called the pleasant and unpleasant. Pratyagatma eva, the Pratyagatma, the indwelling self is Param Jyoti, is the supreme consciousness. Param Brahma, and that alone is Param Jyoti, means Param Brahma. Atma alone is Param Brahma, the Brahman that is limitless. So thus the teacher should take the support of these Upanishads such as Chandogya Upanishad and show how Atma is one with Brahman or Atma is Brahman. Yat Sakshad Aparokshad Brahma Yatma Sarvantara. Then from the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, the self that is Sarvantara, that is the innermost entity, innermost truth of all. Drushte Drashta, that is the witness of the seeing, witness of seeing, thinking, hearing. Prananadai Vyaparopalakshitaha. How to establish the existence of self? By the fact that this breathing in and out, etc., all these various functions of the breath, of the prana, the vital air, even though it is air, it is inert, insentient, and still dysfunctioning, that shows that there is a conscious being in presence of which these inert things function. Ashanaya pipase, one that transcends the hunger and thirst, which are the attributes or which are the characteristics of the prana, the vital air. one that transcends old age and death, which are the nature or the attributes of the body, one that transcends the grief and delusion, the attributes of the mind. Sakshad aparokshad Brahma, one that is transcendental, that transcends all the limitations of samsara, is Sakshad, that Brahman is Sakshad aparokshad, one's very immediate self, which is known without the interference of the mind or the sense organs, which is self-revealing. Neti neti ityadi vakyānām sakala drusya pravilāpanena adviti atma tattvopalakshana paratvam. That this statement, neti neti, not this, not this, these and similar statements which negate what is mithya or what is false. Sakala drusya pravilāpanena. The Upanishad reveals that the creation which is drusya, so what is perceived or what is objectified by you, that object of experience, that is drusya, the universe of name and form, is only an appearance, not a reality, is mithya. And therefore the duality is not the ultimate truth. Even though you may feel that the universe is separate from you, that separated is also not the truth. It's all negated. Make the student see that the universe of names and forms and diversity and multiplicity is in fact a manifestation or appearance of one, and that one is nothing but your own self. And that is Advitiya, Atma, that Atma, the self is Advitiya, the non-dual, that's all there is. Adrushtam drashtru, nanyat atahasti drashtru ityadi vyakyai, sa sarasakshi pratyagatma eva aksharam. That pratyagatma, the indwelling self, which is sarvasakshi, which is witness of all. The witness of seeing, the witness of so, unseen seer, unheard hearer, unthought thinker, unknown knower, which is the witness of thinking, hearing, knowing. That witness, which is a self, alone is Aksharam. That alone is immutable reality, which is Brahman. So Atma is Aksharam. The self is, what is Aksharam? Aksharam is immutable self, the reality, which is the very substrate of the universe, which yasmin avyakrita akashadi dharitriyantram jagat otam cha protam cha, the Aksharam, the immutable, which is the substrate of the universe, beginning from Akasha, the space, or even unmanifest, all the way up to Dharitri, the earth, the grossest. From the unmanifest to the gross, whatever there is in the universe, that Akshara immutable is the very substratum of that. And that Aksharam, the substrate of the universe, is a self which is a witness of all the functions that are taking place within. So that way reveal also the identity of Atma and Aksharam. Aksharam means again the substrate of the universe. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma Konvenam Janayet Punaha. How in the end Yajnavalkya asked of all these Brahmanas, so who is the one? What is it from which the whole universe arises? So when a person dies, that he again is born from where? The universe also dies, meaning that dissolves, then where does it arise from again? So nobody knew the answer. Then he said, Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Again, Vijnanam, the consciousness. Anandam, the happiness, the fullness. That Brahman is the very cause of the universe, from which the whole universe emerges, by which it is sustained, and to which again it merges back, which is the cause of the universe, the substrate of the universe, the self of the universe. Iti tat padartha tattvam upalakshitam. That is Tatpada. So that is the meaning of the word Tat or that in the Mahavakya Tattvamasi. Now, continuing, then the text says Satyam Jnana. Next sentence is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So this is a statement that comes from the Taittiriya Upanishad. About that the Tikakara says, from the beginning there, Evam Brahmavidapnoti Param Iti Prakrutascha Brahmanaha Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma Iti Swarupam Nirdishya Tasmadvai Etasmadatmanaha Akashasambhutaha Ityadina Jagat Karanattvena Upalakshya Tasyaiva. Where are we? Srusteshu Karyakana Sangateshu Pravesham Darshayitva. In one sentence it describes the whole Upanishad. So, says Brahmavit apnoti param iti prakrutasya brahmana. Thus the Upanishad begins with the statement Brahmavit apnoti param. The knower of Brahma attains the limitless. What is Brahma? Brahma Shabdena Bruhattamam. So what is Brahman? So the derivative meaning of the word Brahman will be Bruhattamam. So that which is the greatest, the largest. In the words of Puja Swamiji, it is the big. So the big meaning that without any restriction, the bigness has no restriction. It is the big, bigger than the biggest. Bruhattamam. So that is what is meant by the word Brahman, which means that conveys that there is some entity which must. So, because from our experiences, we'll never suspect that there is something like that which is limitless. Because whatever we experience is all limited, and we find ourselves also limited. So when the word Brahman is used, then that creates in our mind the possibility that there is a vastu, there is an entity which is limitless. We don't experience it, but then there is something that is free from all the limitations. Tadveti, the one who knows that Brahman, the limitless, is called Brahmavit, the knower of Brahma. So this Upanishad begins with the word Brahmavit, with the word Brahma. Brahmavit apnoti param. The knower of Brahma attains the limitless. So we never heard the word Brahma. So when we listen to the word Brahma, then it creates in our mind the possibility that there must be something which satisfies the meaning of the word Brahma, which is limitless. And Brahmavit, the knower of Brahma, that Brahman is knowable. That Brahmavit, the knower of Brahma, apnoti attains param, the limitless. The knower of Brahma attains the limitless. Then, see, Brahmavit, knower of Brahma, attains param, attains limitless. So, is it that the meaning of Brahma and param are the different? Meaning, one who knows Brahma attains param. Is it that knowing Brahma you attain something different from Brahma? Answer is no. Param means Brahma. So Brahma also means limitless and Param also means limitless, which means that the knower of Brahman attains Brahman, which is limitless. Again, Does he attain limitless? Is limitless attainable? That's another question. Says no, that attaining is only in a figurative sense. There is no real attainment because limitless can never be attained. Whatever we attain is always going to be limited. So when it says that the knower of Brahma attains limitless, which means that he discovers the fact that he is limitless. So here, the sense of unattainment of limitless, that I see myself as a limited entity, and limitless is the goal of my life. I want to become limitless, I want to attain limitless. So Upanishad says that what separates you from the limitless is not some distance in space or in time or in some object. It's merely ignorance that separates you, and therefore attainment of limitless is nothing but removal of that obstacle of ignorance. So ignorance created a sense of unattainment of limitless, and when the ignorance is removed, one discovers that limitlessness is my nature. So that attainment is only in a figurative sense. Therefore, avidya nivritrupa gaunarthevatra grahya. What happens is the nivritti, the cessation of ignorance, and not a real attainment of something. All right, then what is that Brahman? Next question is, if knower of Brahman becomes limitless, and I want to become limitless, that is the goal of my life. Meaning knowing Brahman one attains the goal of one's life, which is moksha, liberation or freedom. Then what is that Brahman? The answer is given, Tadeshabhyag. Then here it is quoted, a mantra is quoted, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. What is Brahman? Satyam Jnanam Anantam. So these Satyam Jnanam Anantam are not really Visheshana or attributes of Brahman. It is not that there is one Brahman called Satyam Brahma, another is Jnanam Brahma or Anantam Brahma. What it is that Satyam is Brahma, Jnanam is Brahma, Anantam is Brahma. So Satyam is Jnanam, Jnanam is Anantam, Anantam is Satyam. Each is Brahma. That is what is meant here. This is called the Lakshana Vakya. This Vakya, the statement, reveals Lakshana, the unique or inherent characteristic of Brahma. Then why do you use three words? Satyan ultimately is Brahma, and Jnanam also is Brahma, Anandam also is Brahma. Then why do you use three words? We need not. In fact, each word means Brahma, the limitless. But what happens is, these words, Satyam means truth, Jnanam means knowledge, Anantam means infinite. So these words are used by us in our day-to-day usage, and therefore they carry certain meanings in our mind. So word Satyam, we know, is truth. So Satyam, yad vastu kalatrevi avyavicherita charitam tat Satyam. So we know Satyam as truth, that which does not change in all the three periods of time, which remain the same. What was in the past is in the present, will be in the future. So that which does not change in all the three periods of time is Satyam, is truth. This is what we know. So we understand Satyam and the truth in this manner, which is right. So then what is that Satyam? What is it that does not change? Then immediately, in an object such as a pot, there is this name and form called the pot, and there is clay. So here we know that the names and forms are subject to change. If this pot breaks, then its name will be different, form will be different. If those shards also break, it will be called powder, its name will be different, form will be different. So, these names and forms are subject to change. While that change happens, it is clay that does not change. So therefore, this pot was clay before its creation, it is clay during its existence, and it remains clay even after destruction. So thus in the example of pot and clay, the clay is what? Changeless, meaning does not change in the past, present and future. And therefore, clay satisfies. The characteristic satisfies the definition of Satyam. If Satyam is that which does not change the past, present and future, then we would come to the conclusion that clay, which is the material cause of this pot, satisfies the definition of Satyam. Just in one example, then that means that whatever is the Jagat Karanam, the material cause of the universe, it existed before the universe, it exists when the universe is, it will continue to exist when universe will be. Jagat prasuti sthiti sanyamayanam. So that is ayanam, the substratum of the creation, sustenance, dissolution of Jagat or the creation. So from the word Satyam, which means that which does not change in 3 periods of time, or that does not change any time, meaning what it was before the creation, what it is during sustenance, what it will be after dissolution is Satyam, then we arrive at the understanding that Satyam is Jagat Karanam, the material cause of creation. Because with reference to Karya, the effect, the material cause remains unchanged. So what is Satyam? Changeless, but the material cause of creation. The next question arose. But the material cause is always material. Like clay, etc., which we know as material cause, are always insentient. Because what is material cause? Material cause is that which should undergo a transformation to become the effect. Just as clay should undergo transformation to become a part. So it is the nature of material cause to undergo change or transformation to become the effect. So if Satyam means the material cause of the universe, then it would mean that it has transformed itself into the universe. That means the transformation can only take place in that which is insentient. So Satyam must be insentient. And they would remove that conclusion, that notion that Satyam is insentient, Jnanam. The next word says, no, it is Jnanam, it is consciousness. So Satyam, which is the material cause of the universe, is not only insentient, it is a consciousness. You see, when somebody tells us that consciousness is the material cause of the universe, you try to imagine. Just as you try to imagine clay being the material cause of the pot, and how the clay undergoes transformation to become the pot. Similarly also, when we are told that consciousness is the material cause of the universe, then we imagine that consciousness must undergo change and it must become all these different objects, which it cannot be. Because consciousness means changeless. So then material cause must keep changing, then it's called material cause, and consciousness must be unchanged, because that's its consciousness. Then what kind of material cause it must be? It must be the vivarta upadana karanam, it must be the changeless material cause. Not the parinami, not the changing material cause, the changeless material cause. So if Satyam is Jnanam, if truth of the material cause is consciousness, which means that the creation is not like the creation from clay and the pot, it must be creation like the rope and the snake, meaning that the universe is superimposition upon Satyam or the material cause. Alright, So Satyam is Jnanam. But the Jnanam again, word is what? Knowledge. So pot knowledge, cloth knowledge, tree knowledge, etc. Oh, sometimes the Jnanam, the word also explains knower. The word can be derived depending upon the Vyutpatti. So Karma Vyutpatti, Karana Vyutpatti, Kartra Vyutpatti, meaning that the word Jnana can be explained as knowledge, as knower, or means of knowledge. In any case, the knowledge, the knower, or means of knowledge, however you explain the word knowledge or Jnana, each one of them is limited. So then Brahman is Satyam, truth, all right. Jnanam, knowledge, all right. But what kind of knowledge? Knowledge we understand is limited. So next word comes Anantam. So not only it is knowledge, but Anantam, infinite. Infinite means that which is limitless, not limited by this time, space or object. So the Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam. Even though each word means only Brahman, but still each one helps understand the meaning of the other two words. That's all. And that way, the use of these three words, Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, enable us to understand that Brahman is consciousness, that is changeless, and that is limitless. And only non-dual can be limitless. Because a limitless entity, there cannot be more than one limitless. If that is so, then each one will limit the other one. So limitless must necessarily be non-dual. So Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. When deliberated upon, we arrive at the understanding that Brahman is the limitless, changeless, non-dual consciousness. All right. Then, of course, the Upanishad says, where does this Brahman dwell? That Brahman dwells as the very... So now the next thing is to reveal this Brahman or establish the identity of Brahman with the self, the non-duality. The Brahman is limitless, changeless, consciousness. But that Brahman is Atma, the self. So that also has to be, then only the knowledge, the loop becomes complete. So then alone, there is what we call liberation or freedom to recognize that I am Brahman. That is important to know. That there is Brahman, that it is the cause of creation, that it is limitless is fine. What does it mean to me? If I remain a limited being, what does it matter if Brahman is limited? Says no, Brahman that is limitless is you. Thus, the Upanishad has to reveal the non-duality of Brahman and Atma. And it's done in a very, very interesting way. So the next sentence is Tasmad va etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta. Upanishad proceeds to unfold the non-duality of Brahman and Atma, that how self is Brahman. So, tasmad va etasmad atmana akasha sambhuta. Tasmad, from that, which is what? That Brahman, which was mentioned earlier. Etasmad atmana, from this Atma. So that Brahman, which is the self, akasha sambhuta, the element space emerged from that, meaning that the element space was created from Brahman, which is the self. From space, the air, from there, the fire, from there, the water, from there, the earth, from there, the vegetation, plants and herbs, from there, this body. So this Upanishad has a very unique way of leading the aspirant to the knowledge, true knowledge of the self by beginning from where the student is and leading him to the knowledge of his true self. So right now, what is my knowledge or conclusion or notion of self? That I am the body. So body is taken to be the self. Upanishad validates that. Sava esha purusha annarasamaya. Upanishad says that may you first realize that you are the body. I am the body. That also is truth in a way. And from the grossest notion about the self, the Upanishad leads us to the true nature of self, which is subtler than the subtlest. And that cannot happen in one step. It is done in 5 steps. Like says here. So different example like Shakha Chandra Nyaya or Sthula Arundhati Nyaya. How the star called Arundhati, which is extremely small, how the viewer is led to seeing that star beginning from very large objects such as moon to a bright star to a less bright star and then to Arundhati. Similarly also, the Upanishad seeks us to understand the nature of self, beginning from where we are, from the grossest level to the subtlest by this Nyaya. So it begins from where we are, where I think that this body is the self, as you right, it validates. Tasmadva, and so Sava Esha Purusha Annarasamaya. This Annarasamaya, this gross body made of the modification of food is Atma. So first realization is I am the body. The Anubhuti Prakasha says that also is the realization, because a person really stretches himself to many things other than himself. He thinks that my son is also Atma, self. So things that are very dear to oneself also are very often taken to be as dear as the self. Therefore, to know that I am the body also means that anything other than body I am not. Having now become firm in this knowledge that I am the body, then the Upanishad leads to the next realization. Tasmadva etasmat annarasamayat anyontaratma pranamaya. He is subtler than this body, inside the body, superior to the body. The self, there is another self called prana, the vital air, because of which the body is. Therefore, may you realize that you are not just the body, you are prana, the vital air, which is subtler than the body, which imparts life to the body. So the student meditates and realizes this. I am the prana, pranamayoham. I am the vital air. Having realized that clearly, then the Upanishad says, hey, tasmadva etasmat pranamayat anyontaratma manomaya. Subtler than the vital air, inner as compared to vital air, superior to vital air. The control of the prana is mana, the mind. That's what you are. He realizes then. slowly then shifts himself, his identification of prana to the mind. So doing this in stages is possible. To all of a sudden realize I am Brahman, which is extremely subtle, very difficult. So from body to the vital air, from there to the mind, Manomayam, I am the mind. The next, subtler than mind, is the intellect. I am the intellect, Vijnanamayam. Is subtler than intellect is what? The blissful self. There is inside a blissful self, Anandamaya. Intellect also gains variety of knowledge and performs variety of actions for satisfying the need of happiness. There is a self-experience of happiness inside. That is what you are. Anandamayoham. When I realize that, this Brahma Pucham Pratishtha, what is the true nature of that happy self? Is nothing but Brahman, the limitless. So that way the Upanishad leads the aspirant to realize that I am Brahman, the Atma is Brahman. ఇది జగత్కారణత ఉపలక్ష్య తస్య సృష్టేషు కార్యకరణ సంఘాత ప్రవేశం దర్శయిత్వా. That Brahman, which is the self, then the question arose, how do you say Brahman is? Now somebody may question the existence of Brahman, because all the attributes are denied in Brahman. That sarva kosha adhisthanavutam sarvantaratamam brahmahamasmi iti drakshate. That he realizes that I am the very Brahman, which is the innermost of all the kosha or the sheets. So then a question is asked, does Brahman, is there Brahman? Is God there? Is Brahman there? Such a thing that you are describing? Because what happens is that you describe Brahman by negating it is not gross, it is not body, it is not prana, it is not mind, it is not intellect, it is not the enjoyer. So it seems that it's all in the language of negation that you're describing. So then the questions are asked. Athatonu prashnaha uta vidwan etc., meaning that whether or not Brahman is astitva. And the word that Brahman is, for establishing that there is God. Brahman means God. Not proving, really speaking, you cannot prove that God is. But from all the experiences that you have, for what you experience and what you observe, all of that points to the need for accepting existence of something because of which all of this is. That whatever you experience presuppose the existence of something because of which that experience takes place. Yadyapi visheshatah na upalabhyate. Even though you do not experience Brahman as such and such, but still, vimatam jagat sadupadanakam karyatvat. But when you look at the universe, you realize that the universe must have a substratum. it must have a material cause. The universe is karyam, is creation. And whatever is created must have a upadanam, a material cause. Therefore, jagat sadupadanakam, the jagat, the universe of names and forms also must have a material cause, because no effect is known to exist without a material cause. So what you experience is the universe of names and forms. From there arises the possibility that the material cause or the substrate of the universe must be there, because the universe is. There was something that imparts isness to the universe. You experience that the universe is. So that there must be something because of which the universe is. So that is how various reasons are given by the Upanishad for us to contemplate, to arrive at this assertion or a certain knowledge that Brahman is. Because Jagat, the universe is, the Jagat Karanam, the cause of universe must be, and that cause is Sat or existence. So therefore, to help us understand, the Upanishad tells us a story. So kamayata bhavusyam prajaya iti. That Brahman, which is a self, that conscious principle, kamayata, desired, willed, bhavusyam, may I become many. How do you become many? Like father becoming many sons, is that how you become many? Where what you become is different from you, is that how Brahman desired to become many? Says, no, it is not by becoming man in that sense. So therefore he says, Bhavusyam prajayeya utpadyeya ityartha. May I be created, may I be born. So when father becomes many in the form of sons, then someone different from father is born. Here I will be born. Meaning that father says, I will be born. Brahman says, I will be born. Prajaya. And therefore, it is not the birth in the sense of coming into existence of something which is not there, like that of a son. Birth is merely manifestation of something which is already existing. That also can be called birth. And therefore, so Jagat Srishtva, so it created the universe of names and forms. Tadeva anupravishada, having created a universe of names and forms, it entered in that manner becoming many. Not that Brahman one became many. That becoming is not in a primary sense. Otherwise there will be duality. The becoming is similar to the space becoming many. Space says there are so many parts. May I be created, may I be born is what? Is part space. The space says, may I be born as part space. What do you mean be born? You already are. Before the part was born, the space was. When the part is born, the space is. How can space be born? But then, the creation of many parts creates the notion of many part spaces being created. So creation is not in a real sense. It is appearing as many part spaces. So tat srishtva tadeva anupravishada. Thus it entered, meaning that it appeared as many. So that one Brahman alone appears as the universe of names and forms. So look at the universe. When it is said that this space has entered all the parts, It is not the entry of something which was not present then. Normally what entry means that you enter in a place where you are not. But when we say the space entered the part, it is not entry of space in a place where it was not. It is only in a figurative sense that you say that the space entered the part. Meaning that in every part the space exists as a self of all the parts. Self, space exists as the self of all the parts. And therefore, even though the part spaces appear as many, what it is one space appearing as many part spaces. One Brahman appearing as all many names and forms. Not that Brahman became many, it appears as many. So that the universe is, and Brahman has entered every name and form. Means Brahman is the self of all the names and forms, is the very existence because of which all names and forms exist. So universe is, names and forms are, with existence has entered the name and form. A name and form cannot be before unless existence is. But then existence which is attributeless, as though manifested as having attributes of names and forms, so that existence can become the object of experience. So what is a manifestation of one Brahman. So that the universe is, that universe exists, means there is something that imparts existence of the universe. And that principle called existence, called Sat, the same as Satya is. And then many other reasons are, many other experiences are cited here. Raso vai saha, that there is ananda, happiness in our life. Happiness shows that there is something because of which you become happy. Esha Shiva Anandayati. It is that Brahman alone that gives you happiness, makes you happy. So that we feel happiness means the cause of happiness must be there, without which you cannot become happy. When you experience happiness, there must be a cause of that happiness. So Brahman as the cause of happiness, as the very essence of happiness, as very happiness must be there because you experience happiness in your life. Because you see that the universe is there for existence, that principle must be there which imparts existence to the universe. Because you experience happiness in your life, therefore there must be that because which happiness is. Raso vai saha. Thirdly, ko hyevanyat kaf pranyat. Third is that you are breathing. You are breathing in, breathing out, meaning that this breath, the vital air, which is nothing but air, modification of air alone is called breath. We know that air is one of the elements, material elements. Air is material, it is inert, insentient. An inert, insentient principles such as air, we find it moving up and down and performing various functions in the body. An inert thing cannot on its own perform functions unless it is prompted by something which is conscious. So the very functioning of the breathing in and out and very functions of the vital air taking place in our body themselves point to the existence of a conscious principle in presence of which this prana, apana, etc. functions. So, ko hyevanyat kaf pranyat. Who would breathe out and who would breathe in and who would breathe out unless that conscious principle which enlivened this breath was there. So this insentient air has been enlivened in some way, because of which it functions, so that which enlivens this prana apana must be there. Point from based on our simple day-to-day experiences. And so these various reasons are pointed out, because of which it is not proven, but because of which it is the possibility of the existence of Brahman is pointed out based on our various experiences. Of course, Upanishad does not have to prove that God, it says there is Brahman, so it is. Upanishad is pramanam. It is a valid means of knowledge. And therefore, eyes don't have to prove that this orange color. Eyes say it's orange, so it is orange. The eyes are the only means of knowledge to know the color. So in case you have a question as to whether what the eyes say is right or not, there is no way for you to verify other than eyes. You ask somebody else, what is this color? He says orange, but that also is done by eyes only. Similarly also, Upanishad is the pramanam, the valid means of knowledge for revealing the nature of truth. And it says Brahman is Satyam Jnanam Anandam. There need not be any question at all. But still that existed always, even people, even from the Vedic times, or the ancient times, which questioned these things. And which also perhaps entertained the opinion that there is only shunyam or void or nothingness as the very substract of the universe. Whole universe emerged from nothing. So there were always people who said this. So in Chandogya Upanishad also you find their view being refuted. In Taittiriya Upanishad also you find their view being refuted. Upanishad need not refute anything, but still because the students who are listening to Upanishad already are exposed to those views where they emphasize that there is non-existence as the basis of the universe. So Upanishad says, gives various reasons for the student to contemplate upon how non-existence cannot be the basis. Existence alone can be the basis. So then finally it concludes as says chaya, yes. So ataso sa abhayangato bhavati. Adrushye anatme anirukte ityadina prapancha apavadena. Yada hyevaisha etasmin drushyenatme nirukte anilaya abhyam pratistham vindate ataso abhayangato bhavati. There is fearlessness in the life. He finds some people just fearless. There must be a reason why they are fearless. There must be something that imparts them fearlessness. And so, Yada hyevaisha adrushe. When this wise person realizes the nature of self, as adrushyam, dushyatva varjite, that which cannot be objectified, which is the very nature of subject, which cannot be objectified, anatmye, which is not the body, which is unembodied, anirukte, which cannot be described in words, anilayane, which doesn't have any basis, which does not require any basis for it to be there, which does not require any other support, which is a support for everything, but unsupported support, unobjectified subject, that's how. So, Adrushye, the unobjectified subject. Anatme, the bodiless, unembodied. Anirukte, the indescribable. Anilayane, the unsupported support. In that manner, when one recognizes oneself, avayam pratishtha vindate, then he gains pratishtha, he gains abidance, fearless abidance, or he abides in fearlessness. So we find some rare people, not many, some rare people are found in the universe who we find are fearless. There must be some reason which imparts them fearlessness, and that is Brahman, because of which they are fearless. And we find millions who are fearful. The reason because of which they are fearful also. And therefore, so yatha hyevaishe tasmin so udaravantaram kurude atasobhayangato bhavati. Yada hyevaishe tasmin udaravantaram kurude atha tasya bhayam bhavati. So one who knows this Brahman as very self becomes free from fear. Because Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati, fear can be there only when there is a second one. Only when there is someone other than you that can possibly become the cause of fear. When all there is you, then you cannot have fear from yourself. Thus those who have therefore recognized the nature of their self as Brahman, as non-dual, we find them fearless. That means that the non-dual truth must be there, because of which these people are fearless. But Dvitiyadvai bhayam bhavati, by the same token, the fear always arises when there is someone other than you, when there is duality. So we find many people who are fearful because they live in duality. But the duality is unreal. That shows there is an ignorance. So because of ignorance alone, we in fact create the duality. Not that there is duality, but then the mind projects duality because of ignorance and brands the others as different from oneself and oneself is different from others. That is simply projection of the mind, and then the fear is created. So we find fear in people. That means that the very same Brahman or truth or the self, which is the cause of fearlessness for those who know, that very truth also becomes the cause of fear for those who do not know. See, the very rope itself is innocent. The rope is known as rope, then it doesn't cause any reaction of fear in you. But that very rope, when it is seen as snake, because of ignorance, then the innocent rope also causes fear. Can you imagine rope causing fear? When the rope is perceived as snake. So also Brahman, when known as it is as non-dual, cannot cause fear. But when we create duality, by projecting duality, we look upon Brahman as separate from us. That very Brahman which was the cause of fearlessness, as though becomes the cause of fear. So therefore, because there is fearlessness, Brahman must be there. Because of fear, so Brahman must be there, the knowledge of which causes fearlessness. And Brahman must be there, the ignorance of which causes fear. So thus all these different reasons are given, our experiences, to find out that Brahman is Ityadina prapancha apavadena sarvadharam sarvasakshanam atmanam anandarupam brahmapucham pratishtha. So prapancha apavadena, meaning that what is drishyam, atmyam, niruktam, nilayanam, all of these description of prapancha of the universe. And all of here is the whole universe of prapancha is duality is negated to arrive at the non-dual, which is the very witness of all this duality. which being non-dual is also limitless and therefore of the nature of ananda or fullness or happiness. And that alone is Brahman, that is the pucham, that is substratum of everything. Sa abhayam gato bhavati. Knowing this Brahman itself, one becomes free from fear. And finally, sayaschayam purushe yascha savaditye saekah iti cha. Sayaschayam purushe yascha savaditye saekah. That's what it says at the end. So Atmani tu samsaro bhrantya upacharyate iti. Samsara, as long as it is taken to be real, alone is the cause of fear. Then you find that it is only appearance. Mithya. So what is meant by negation is only recognizing the mithya to unreality of something. You don't have to, there is no action involved in negation. So says chayam purushe. So that which is in the Purusha, in the individual, that consciousness or Ananda Atma, the bliss, the Ananda Atma, the limitless self which is in this individual, is also in the total or in the samashti. And therefore there is one truth alone that informs both the vyashti and samashti, the individual and the total. And that is Brahman, that is the self. Sayaschayam purushe yascha asau aditye saekah. Ye akashadi karyam srishtva tad anupravishta sah, that one. So Saha yaschayam purusha. Saha means that. What is that? That we will say to be yo veda nihitam guhayam, that which obtains in the cave of the heart, from which the whole universe, beginning of Akasha, emerged, who created the universe from the space onwards and entered as the very self. And so the purpose of entry is only to show that Jagat Karanam Brahma is not Paroksham, it's Ayam, Ascha Ayam, Aparoksha. That Brahman, the limitless, the cause of creation, is immediate, which is the self. Pratyagatma Purushe Sharire Vyashti Upadu Vartate. And so that which is the cause of creation alone obtains in this individual self. Says chayam purushe yascha aso aditye. Yascha prakrita aso vidvat pratyaksha paramananda atma aditye mandale vartate. Sadvividhastvena uktah chetana eksa ekaha. The consciousness that obtains in the individual, and Aditya, the sun, stands for the total. And that consciousness that obtains the total is one alone. They were revealing the oneness, the non-duality of Brahman and the self. So this is how the teacher should in fact make the student see the oneness or non-duality of Brahman and the self. Okay, we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmede Na Vibhagine Murtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.